beginning of our next round, I moved the first player token over to the Ironbreaker. We have our nemesis, Odious Grump. He is still currently engaged with the Ironbreaker. We've just traveled from the Lost Dwarven Forge to the sewer system, and we're going to need 7 exploration to get out of here. Luckily, I loaded the Ironbreaker up with a couple of success tokens on his explore action, so maybe we can get this done with and get out of here quickly. First though, we have the Ironbreaker, who's going to take his action first. I'm going to try and get this gigantic spider taken care of, or Odious Grump if I roll an amazing series of die. I will use his attack action, which allows me to engage up to 2 enemies. I'm going to go ahead and pull the gigantic spider over to me and not only engage but target both enemies and roll 2 attack die. Here comes the attack from the Ironbreaker. Only 1 successful attack on me, and we get to re-roll another die. That worked out great. 4 successes, 1 shield, which will help take the damage down from that successful attack. Our Ironbreaker will take damage from the one with the highest attack value, but they both have 2. And he did roll 1 shield, so he will only take 1 wound, but he had 4 successes. If I apply those to the Odious Grump here, that's only going to give him 3 wounds and it won't kill him. But 4 successes is enough to take out this elite giant spider with 1 attack. That worked out pretty darn good. So we got that giant spider out of the way. That's the end of the Ironbreaker's first action. Now we move over to the Waywatcher to decide what we want to do. Do we want to attack Odious Grump? Do we want to rest? Or maybe I should do Shadow Watch to aid, and then I'll be able to do 1 damage for sure to Odious Grump. I have 6 wounds on me. Maybe I want to rest. Let me take a look and make a decision. I'm going to use my Shadow Watch, my aid action, and roll 2 dice to see how many successes I can get to add to the Ironbreaker. Hopefully we can get a couple of good rolls. Oh! That is definitely a couple of good ones. That's 2 successes, and both get to reroll. And a total of 3 successes. Got 3 successes to add. I'm going to put 1 more on my rest action, and these 2 on my attack. Target hero readies 1 action, so his attack will be ready again. And I may choose 1 enemy engaged with the target hero, and that enemy suffers a wound, so we'll have Mr. Grump here, up to 3 wounds. And now we'll move to the Ironbreaker for his second action. I want to get Grump out of here so he's not engaged with me. I probably should rest, though, but this only allows me to exhaust 1 non-nemesis enemy, so I'm going to hold off on that, and I will attack. I will use my inexorable advance to attack and add these 2 successes to it, but I can target up to 2 enemies and engage up to 2 enemies. 1's here, and I'm just going to take this one right off the end no matter what it is. And it is Goblin Warrior. This one also engages the enemy with the most wounds, so he was going to probably end up on the Ironbreaker anyway. He doesn't have any resilience and only 2 health, so that gives us an option if we don't get enough to take care of Grump in one shot. But I'll have these 2 tokens, and I get to roll 2 white dice. I have the 2 black dice also for the 2 monsters that I'm currently engaged with. Oh, that's rough. Okay, but we did get 5 successes, but we also rolled the nemesis die. We rolled the nemesis die, so each of our characters are going to have to split some wounds up. That's going to give 7 to the Waywatcher, and I'll give the Ironbreaker 1 too. That puts him at a total of 12 now. But we had 5 successes. I would have to put 4 of them on the Grump here to take him out. And that would only leave 1 left over for the Goblin Warrior. Or I could put 2, and then that would leave him with 1, but then he has that resilience and make him harder to take care of with 1 left, because you have to get past his resilience of 1. So I will put 4 on Odious Grump, which is going to give us an additional bonus, which I'll show you in just a moment. And the leftover 1 I'll put on the Goblin Warrior. If you look at the top of the card here, it says after Odious Grump is defeated, he flees and the party tracks him. Places enemy card in the nemesis lair, which I put him back in there, then add 4 progress to the current location. That is a big help. The Grump is back in his lair, and we get to add 4 successes to our current location, which leaves us only with 3 left, which should be pretty easy to do with our Into the Dark exploration action that the Ironbreaker has 2 success tokens on. My second action for the Waywatcher now is going to be the Deadly Shot. I'm going to exhaust that one to use it and use this token, and I'm going to target. No, I'm not going to target the Goblin Warrior because it only has 1 left, and I don't want to waste this on something that only has 1 left. I will still use the Deadly Shot, but I'm going to take the chance at not using my token right now. I can do that ranged attack and fire 1 white dice to fire at that Goblin Warrior. Hoping for some good luck here to get at least 1 success, and I did. Perfect. That 1 success is enough to take care and eliminate the Goblin Warrior. And now I can also remove 1 of my wounds, because during that action I defeated 1 enemy, which allows 1 of these wounds to be taken off. And that is my action that allows me to ready all of my actions, which will help me avoid the effect of the sewer system giving me another wound. That is all the actions for the hero phase. Now we move into the enemy phase, starting with the Ironbreaker. And I'll have the Ironbreaker activate a gigantic spider. At least this time it's not elite. It can do 1 damage and has 3 health. And when it ensnares, if this enemy is in the shadows, exhaust 1 action. Now what's going to happen this time? The gigantic spider, its first thing is to inflict, so it's going to do 1 wound to the player. It's going to ensnare. If this enemy is in the shadows, it exhausts an action. I will pick the shield wall to exhaust, and then it retreats. So if it was engaged, it would move back into the shadows where it currently is. Now we'll go to the Waywatcher, who will activate the other monster in the shadow, and it is a Goblin Warrior. Except this time, it's not an elite one. It can do 1 damage, and has 2 health, and it has the prey action. So first it will inflict, which will cause 1 damage to the Waywatcher, and then it will engage the hero with the most wounds, and that still is the Ironbreaker. Both of those enemies, I should have put the tokens on when I had a chance, but they're both exhausted, and ending the enemy phase moves us to the location. Unfortunately, thanks to this spider adding the exhaustion of another action, this location is going to do 1 damage to the Ironbreaker because he has 2 or more exhausted actions. So that's going to take him up to 14 wounds. Time to start doing some healing on the Ironbreaker. We don't have enough to move to our next location, which will have us move to our peril phase, and again it's not another colored spot. The next one will activate a special action, but for now that's the end of this round. Move the first player token over to the Waywatcher and begin the next round.